Guess who's back? Good to know I was missed. Anyways, yeah, welcome to my TED Talk, or something like that. Thank you all so much for coming out here and listening to me ramble. It means so much knowing that
I'm here for extra credit.
Yeah, well, we could all use some more of that, really. Today, I'm here to talk about...
Where's the bathroom, man?
Down the hall and to the left. Now, can I please get on with my...
I think I took a wrong turn. Is this a TED Talk on artificial intelligence?
What? No, I don't know about AI. I just...
Once I climbed the mountain,
Chaos
just a sail across my
wrapped in a
grocery
sweater
list.
made of
They replied with thunder,
existential
which
dread
I
and spaghetti
interpreted
noodles.
as buying
Last
27
night, I
tons of
received
hummus.
a
Shut
message
As I was saying, if you've never been to a scouting summer camp, one of the first things you learn is that it's a very dangerous place. Not Australia levels of dangerous, of course, but more hazardous than your everyday classroom or office job. You deal with everything from physical struggles, long hikes, scorching temperatures, to mental struggles, lack of sleep, impatience, and frustration, to even emotional ones like connecting with your fellow campers. It's a lot to handle. But the magic of it all is that you walk away from this utterly awful part of the human experience, eagerly awaiting next year? Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me either, but I'm gonna be talking about my experience staffing at a summer camp and try to make sense of why I'm so excited to come back next year. So I guess I should start from the beginning.
I was born in a small town in Pennsylvania in 1924.
No, not that far back. Just as far back as a couple of months ago. See, my brother had staffed at this summer camp 2 years in a row previously, and it was well known, it was loved by him and I, by our scout troop, but staffing there myself wasn't something that was really on my radar for a couple of reasons. One, if I went to go do that, I would be functionally contentless for most of the summer. I valued my summer home time. I didn't want to sacrifice it to unpaid labor. And that's the other thing. If I was doing this, I was going in as a CIT, counselor in training, which meant I was going to get a bunch of volunteer hours and no buckaroonies for my hard work. That was a hard thing to come to terms with. He's mad at me. Oh, okay, scary. There were a few benefits, basically being I was only required to work half the day, so if I had an awful experience, I would always have the option of just kind of dipping in the afternoons, you know? Oh, man, that was a bad shot. Man, I'm rusty. I haven't played a lot of Minecraft recently. I've been playing Peak, you know? You know that game? It's like you're a rock climber. Oh, whoo! That was pretty good. You're a rock climber with your scout troop, and you gotta make it to the top of the mountain. I don't know. Should I make a video on it? That might be fun. Okay. Too much. Yeah, okay. Now, the other good thing of going in as a CIT is you have the opportunity to earn merit badges while you're working. Because exactly for the same reason. Oh, okay. Nope. Okay. Oh, nope, I'm not losing this fight. The poor guy. Why do you go for the chest? For the same reason that you're not working in the afternoons, so if you don't want break time, oh, not you two. Please no. I gotta at least get some armor on. Oh, they're coming at me from every direction. Hold up. Ow, okay, come on. Oh, no! Man. Basically, if you don't decide to take a break in the afternoons, you can go take another class, maybe get some merit badge in something you're interested. I don't know, it's a free learning opportunity, and you get to basically be a camper for the afternoon. It's a pretty good deal all around, except for all the, time that you're sacrificing. But I also had a healthy amount of familial pressure, so I went out and I asked for a job. The first step in all of this was paperwork, which I had to do a surprisingly small amount of because I wasn't getting paid, because it was a volunteer job. I didn't have to do an I-9 or a W-4 or any of that type of thing. Okay, whatever. It worked out. But there were some trainings I had to do, but they didn't make me do a background check, which I thought was kind of weird. They don't make you do that until you're 18. I could have been a juvenile delinquent, and they would have no idea. But yeah, in classic procrastinator fashion, I pushed off most of those trainings until right before I left. Trust me, it was all fine. Okay, I had it all under control. Come on, dude, what do you want? I'm just not having this, you know? Okay. Oh! I don't know why I wasn't expecting that. I also had to fill out a special diet form. If you didn't know, I'm a pescatarian. I was a vegetarian, but like I needed more protein, so I started eating fish. Also because I like grease a lot, you know. They eat a lot of seafood. And I also had to choose what area I wanted to work in. I ended up choosing cope and climbing, which I had kind of been hoping for the whole time. I don't know what I would have gone with if I didn't go with that. They had, like, you could work in the shop, the trading post, which I thought sounded kind of fun, but it was a lot like a regular job. Aquatics, they had STEM, which my brother does. RATA, which stands for range and target activities. There were a lot of areas. I can't even remember them all. Nature. I don't know. Everybody taught different merit badges and did different things. They had service. Anyways, I went with cope and climbing because it was something that I enjoyed the most while I was there. And it was also different from what I usually do, you know? When I'm at home, I spend a lot of time on the computer, and so at camp, I ended up choosing one of the most physical of the options. You don't sit in a room all day. You're gonna be outside and running things, and I really enjoyed that balance, I think. But before I knew it, it became time for my interview with the big boys.
Uh-oh, not the big boys.
Yes, the big boys. They were terrifying.
Who, were the big boys?
I just said they were terrifying.
Well, yes, but that's an adjective, and I wanted a noun.
I gave you that too. They were big.
Okay, sure.
The camp director was a ginger-haired man of average stature. The program director was a brown-haired man of equally average stature, and they were both terrifying. Asking people for jobs is scary. Asking people for things in general is scary. Okay, all right, chill. Okay, think, Aqua. What can we do about this? You know, we're being shot at. We're low. We're already healing. Okay. Where'd he come from? But yeah, directors, both of them, very supportive, loved them both. Fast forward a couple of months, probably around a week or so before school lets out, and it's time to actually, like, lock in. I have to finish my interviews, I have to start packing. I do those things. Luckily, the training could have been a lot worse. The preliminary training that I did before I came to camp really wasn't all that bad, but it was time for staff week. Woohoo!
Hey, what's staff week?
It's a week where everyone takes a wizard staff, and we, trade and battle and stuff. Nah, I wish. See, my brother, the very person who'd gotten me into this mess, wasn't able to go to staff week because he was, I don't know, busy or something. So I had to go at it all by myself, and that was really terrifying, and I didn't like it. Before I went, he talked about how much fun staff week would be, how it would be filled with unending joy and whimsy or whatever. No! We were stuck in the dining hall for hours, doing even more trainings, despite the fact that we did trainings before we came to camp. I feel like they should have just made us do half of that before we went so that we didn't have to go to camp and do more training. I don't know. I didn't like it. And we were getting trained on certain things that were like the exact same topic that we had trained on before we came to camp. And I didn't know anybody. If my brother had been there, on the one hand, I would have been introduced to everybody as his brother. But on the other hand, I would have been a lot more comfortable with the whole situation. But you know, it worked out in the end. Like, the work became more manageable once I started meeting people, which happened inevitably, even if it was uncomfortable at first. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm watching a movie right now. Oh, go. Okay, and then we third party. Oh, I love Skywars. On the very first night, something caught me very, very off guard. We were required to make a skit. Now, I realized, but working at a scout camp, it's like being in a theater class, okay? They're very similar things, and because you have to make skits a lot, you know, you have to be pretty much acting a lot. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. You know what? This is fine. Well, this is fine. 2 players left. I think we'll be okay. So they gave us like an hour or so, and we were all sent off. We had to go make a skit. I think that was the first time I actually met my area, my coworkers. I discovered there were only 4 people working in climbing, which would become an issue later on, but they were all very nice, and I was happy to meet them. And I also met the high adventure people because we were working with them, partly because our staff was so small, but also just because climbing and the ropes course and the rappelling and all that are kind of part of the high adventure program. You know, we worked very closely on a lot of things, including our skits. The only issue is we had this group of, I think, 11 people just circled around, and nobody had any ideas. None. One of the girls from High Adventure had these 3 hobby horses that she decided she wanted to use in the skit. That was all we had to go off of. But, you know, we put our heads together, we used a little bit of healthy ChatGPT, and this is what we came up with. We've been lost for 3 days. Here, doggy, doggy, doggy. Here, doggy, doggy. Never fear. My mystery musket-tool 3000 will find your 12% sweet pea from Tractor Supply that's only $15.49. Yeah, so that skit was all over the place. Definitely some of the most out there humor of any of the skits that we put on that night. But it was funny, you know? People liked it. It was well received. I promise there was a punchline connecting it all. Those were actual lines from the skit, by the way. But we only added it as an afterthought at the request of the camp directors. You know, we made more throughout the week, but that was the only one that made it in the final show. I think we were really good, you know? I don't know. Tough crowd. As days went on, we did more training. Youth protection, a done deal. Customer service, all done and dusted. Swim, safety. Water under the bridge. I mean, I was racking up these trainings like entries in Ash Ketchup's Pokedex. The days were going by, I was making new friends. I kind of thought that we were in the falling action of the week. You know, the hard part was over. I was starting to get comfortable. There was a guy, he worked in admin. For now, we're gonna call him Ben 10. Oh, no. Oh, well, that worked out. No, maybe we'll make it through. Just gotta run. Are they behind me? No, I'm chill. Okay, phew. I didn't think I was gonna live that. Anyways, Ben 10 basically said that he had this CPR specific training and it was gonna be completely free, and he offered it to the staff if they wanted to do it, and he'd add you to the class, just send him a message. I wasn't going to raise my hand, but then my area director, and we're gonna call her Komodo, she said, anyone who works in a high-risk area, I highly recommend that you complete the CPR training. Hey, that's me. I work in a high-risk area.
Hey! No mental breakdowns on the 10X stage.
Sorry.
That's alright. There's no shame in going to a therapist. Just not in front of the crowd.
Yes, sir. So I was like, you know what? I might as well help. How hard can it be? Oh, come on. Oh, dang. Yeah, well, it turns out it was very hard. It was a 3-hour training that I didn't have 3 hours to do. And so I did the most sensible thing and put it off until the very last minute. I kept bringing it up to people. I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm gonna run out of time to do CPR. And then I actually checked, and it turned out I had like a day to do CPR. So I kind of locked in. I just kept it open on my phone, and wherever I went, when I was eating and things, I chipped away at it. Stayed up a little late at night, and I got it done, the digital portion. And so in the morning, there was a real life portion in which we had to practice the real deal. I came and I was all prepared for that, and it worked out great. I got CPR, and I was very proud of that because it took a lot of work doing CPR, a lot of extra work that I didn't have to do. Hold up. We need to talk about how he was just like magnetically shifting back to the bridge. I don't know. No, I'm sorry. I opened a chest. Oh no. There we go. That's my window. Always just wait. Wait for a third party opportunity. That's the best way to go. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Oh! Maybe the magic's working on me. Oh, no! I saw you. That was basically the end of staff week. I mean, it wasn't, but nothing interesting happened. You know, before I knew it, it was the weekend, and then it wasn't the weekend anymore, and I had to be ready for my first real week with campers. We had this thing called ambassadors, and if you were an ambassador, your job was to basically wait at the campsite of a specific troop until they arrived, take them on a tour, explain the camp to them, and, you know, just kind of show them around, make them feel a little bit more at home, a little connected to the staff. That wasn't something I wanted to do. Basically, a whole lot of extra socializing work on your plate. You know, I was fine doing my regular job. My brother arrived for week 2, which we call week 1, because it was the first week with, you know, staffers. There's staff week, and then there's week 1. So he was here for week 1, which I was glad about, but it was a little too late. I didn't need his help on anything anymore. Ah! Anyways, the program director was calling ambassador names, and my brother said to me, I'm not going to make eye contact with him so that he won't call my name. And I said, nah, that's stupid. There is no way that they're just making this up on the fly, that they don't have an established list of who is doing what. And I was so confident in this answer that I made eye contact with the program director. I made direct eye contact with the program director. My troop arrived, and you know, to my dismay, they were a pretty rowdy bunch. They completely lacked manners. You know, the first thing I learned when interacting with them is even if you're a CIT, never tell scouts that you're a CIT because they instantly lose respect for you. Like, they won't do what you say. It's very frustrating, so I stopped doing that. But I made that mistake with this troop, and they knew I was inexperienced, and my inexperience was kind of showing anyways in my interactions with the scoutmaster. I didn't really know how things worked, but I tried my best. I don't feel like there's any better way to learn than kind of being thrown in the deep end, you know? Not that that's the best way to do it, but you certainly learn fast when you have no other way out. I'm not even going to talk about what some of them were saying to me. They didn't want to go on a tour because they had already been to the camp. I died. That's it, we're playing Pillars of Fortune. But, I mean, yeah, they could have done the decent thing, knowing I had no other choice, and been like, alright, let's go on this tour. But they didn't stop begging me to just go back to camp. Anyways, I'm going to stop complaining now. I was near the aquatics area. They were all taking their swim tests for the week. One of the high adventure dudes offered to help me out because he had already finished with his troop, and, you know, he could kind of see that I was struggling. So, yeah, I graciously accepted, and without his help that day, I think I would have gone insane. I don't know that I would have made it. Can't thank him enough. Oh, chill. Oh, chill. Huh. Come on, give me a bit. When the tour was over, I was more than willing to part with my adopted troop, but then I learned you have to eat with them every day. Okay, that was rude. The next morning, it became time for me to teach my merit badge, which was super fun. You know, we kind of had two rotations. One of them we called classroom work, and they were teaching knots, basic safety things. And then the other group actually got out there and did climbing. Are you trying to be friends? Is that why you're crouching? The universal friend dance. Yeah, let's do it. Let's be friends, okay? Can I trust it? Ah! He's receiving. No, you can't hurt my friend. You hurt my friend, I hurt you. Can I shoot this like a gas? Hey, he's not getting through that. Okay, alright. You're right. We need a bigger defense. Netherite pants! And he's got a hat. We're the Netherite bros. Oh yeah, you wish you could be us. Nothing better than having a teammate in Pillars of Fortune. Anyways, back to my stories. The other part of my job was to watch people who were belaying, which, if you don't know, belayers are the people who manage the ropes for the people climbing, and the belayers are supposed to... No! My buddy! I'm gonna take your hat now. Haha, nerd. Oh, you had a clutching item? I didn't get to use? That's... Man. Oh, well, now I need it. But yeah, if you've never seen a belayer before, you've probably used the automatic belays, which use like a magnet system. And we did have one of those, but we also had two genuine human belays. So I had to watch them to make sure they weren't doing anything wrong, which was easy enough. And then in the afternoons, I helped out Komodo with Cope Level 1, which stands for... Oh, it's the same guy. Ah! I've seen... Oh. I was very close to death today. Okay, got a shulker. I might be a 1 heart. We can make it through this. Me over here. No! Oh yeah, slime block. Okay. I need a healing item pretty desperately. Sniped by a shulker. What it means to work in challenging outdoor personal experience is essentially there's low cope and high cope, and high cope is the ropes course, and that's super fun. Low cope is a bunch of teamwork games. Yeah. I think that's how you describe it. You get a group of kids together and you make them work together. Swap? Come on, man. Oh. Well, that did save my life. So yeah, cope is fun, but it's also very hard to explain to somebody. If they don't know what cope is and you say you work in cope, they're like, huh? Because of how hard it is to explain to everybody, and also, you know, the lack of advertising, we never got more than 2 people signed up for it in a week. Because I helped with it 3 weeks in a row, I should have gotten certified, except I'm not 18. Wah. Hi. You wanna get some fries? No, not you. The person behind you. Dum-dum. Are you gonna notice? Out of the 4 things we had to offer at camp, I can confidently say that the climbing wall was my favorite. Belaying is hard work, you know. Your arms, you have to do this over and over again. So I'm not even sure what part of the arm that works, but it was just sore. It was all sore. But there was something so fun about like involving yourself in their climb. Like it makes you feel like you're climbing. My second favorite thing would definitely have to be the ropes course because of the actually opposite, the lack of work that it required. All you had to do was get people up there and kind of, you could strap yourself in and just like hang from the wires that were there and watch the participants. That's all you had to do. You just sit back and watch, and they had all the fun themselves. Coming in at meh on the tier list, we have rappelling. For rappelling, there was one of two jobs that you could do, and that was either sit at the bottom and watch the belayers, or you could be at the top and actually send people down. Ah! Who's shooting at me? That was a blaze. I didn't know how to send people down, so I just kind of worked at the bottom every single time, and it got a little bit old. And then there was the zipline. Zipline was the worst thing we ran at camp, and that was something everybody agreed on, because, like, it was the shortest thing, so it didn't even feel very fun if you were doing it, to be honest. But working it was so much worse, because no matter where you were or what you were doing, you were in the sun, you were hot, and you were stressed. And this is partly because of our setup for the zipline was so poor. We only had 12 trolleys, and if you don't know, the trolley is the thing that you actually put on the zipline that you hold on to when you go down. Kind of necessary. Maybe you could go down without one if that was your jam. I feel like you'd probably cut your hand off. When a trolley gets used, it was at the bottom of the mountain, and for some reason, it took so long to get them back up the mountain so that we could use them again. So the guests were just waiting there for more trolleys the entire time. And, they were understandably getting very impatient. And, this is just one reason why everybody hated zipline. There were no shades. There was no cover. It's just an all-around bad setup. I never worked at the top. But, for some reason they didn't like it either. Hi. Oh, no. Whew. All right. It's okay. We're okay. Bye. What do you have? Another hoe? I guess the stone. Okay. How much did that worked out? But we as a team did the best that we could. When people didn't get the chance to go, which didn't happen that often, but when it did, they had priority the next morning. Anyways, the weeks went by with me working on one of those 4 things. And it was just a blast, I loved getting to be outside and helping other people with their climbing. And we closed out the week with a campfire ceremony and a big cleaning. We had to clean up everything for the next week. No! Now, the second week was a little more interesting because, unlike the first week, I wasn't originally supposed to be there at all. Oh, the only reason I was there was because the High Adventure Program Director, I'm gonna call him Luigi.
Oh, let's go!
He asked me if I could stay the second week in front of the program director, which, come on, dude. Interestingly enough, the program director kind of said up front, oh yeah, sure, you could stay if you want to. Guys, did I just find the new strategy? Take another boost. Oh! Okay, hi. So after thinking about it some more, I decided I was having fun, and I was totally fine with staying another week. I didn't want to pack up all my stuff anyway. And believe it or not, staying for an extra week wasn't the craziest thing that Luigi, the High Adventure Program Director, convinced me to do. That would have to be a field trip to scuba dive and then go to NASA and go on like a private tour situation. It was just a really great opportunity that I only got the chance to because he had open spots. And the trip was completely free for me. He's just like, hey, do you have any interest in doing this? And at first, I was like, no, but and then I thought about it some more. And I was like, scuba diving? How many other times in my life am I going to get the chance to do this? So I'm very glad that I went. It was a great opportunity, and I'm very grateful. But I can confidently say that I'm never going to go scuba diving again. Anyways, before I knew it, week 2 passed by, week 3 passed by. The last day of camp was approaching. It wasn't most people's last day, it was just mine. We thought it was gonna be a normal Friday, but that turned out to not be the case. So something I haven't really talked about was at the camp, we were experiencing a lot of weather issues, and working at a place like ours where you're literally suspended to a metal beam very high in the sky, it's like lightning, please come strike me if you're in the middle of a storm. You're just begging, you're just asking for it if you're on a zip line in a thunderstorm. So, you know, it basically shut down anything we were trying to do when there was bad weather, and bad weather happened a lot, and that made some people mad. It's kind of like, what are you gonna do about bad weather? But I do understand being mad. They paid to come here and use the zip line, and if the zip line's just shut down the whole week, you know, that kind of sucks for everybody all around. Either way, somebody above the camp director, somebody who I never met while I was there, had received some complaints about the weather shutting down our area, and so he basically said, you know what? Assuming that weather is Good Friday, you are gonna run zipline all day. And yeah, I mean all day, even through like lunch, everything, or almost everything we were planning to do Friday was either shut down or like shortened. You know how much we all hated zipline, and so it made the group pretty mad, especially because they weren't gonna be told about it until like the morning of, and they found out from a rumor just before the announcement that they were gonna be doing all this extra work Friday, and it wasn't good. We all solemnly gathered at a table together, talked about the best way to strategize, and we just kind of agreed that we'd do the best that we could. Now, to their credit, admin at the camp helped out a bunch. I mean, the program director was with us all day. He brought us lunch. He even gave me a Gatorade, I think, as a way of saying, hey, thanks for doing all this extra work that we're not paying you to do. But the fact that I wasn't getting paid didn't even matter because I felt really proud of myself. That day was the first day that I was running a major aspect of the activity by myself, but with the help of some volunteers and even some people from other areas, we made it through. Great ending to a hard day and a hard couple of weeks. And then I came home. Ow! Oh, I missed it. Oh. So, yeah, that was my camp experience. That's where I've been. A month of my life. But what can we learn from this experience?
The world's all sunshine and rainbows?
Well, no. See, summer camp was pretty much what I was expecting. Hot, exhausting, stressful. It pushed me to new limits, both mentally and physically. But that's just the part I want to focus on. I grew so much as a person from my time at camp. And that, I think, is why people want to keep coming back to staff. It's sure as heck why I'm coming back next year. Because no matter how rough or challenging the road we are presented with may seem, we get the chance to make it through. And that type of achievement feels good. So I think we can walk away keeping one thing in mind. Everybody has struggles. Everyone deals with different things. But whatever you may be dealing with, I believe in you. You got this, and you'll make it through. I mean, unless you don't, in which case, sorry, man. So, thank you everybody for coming to my TED Talk.
Yep, well, that's 20 minutes I'm not gonna get back.
Hey you, come back here. Hey, come here. Did you like and subscribe? You should probably do that, man. It's really cool. Like and subscribe.